on, Sha?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
What was in doubt?
I don't know. I just, sometimes it takes you a little longer to check all of the systems. All the levels. Every once in a while, it takes a minute. You just go, wait, did I check in with everybody? All right. Final answer? Is that your final answer? Okay. All right.
It's vital. It's vital. You got to make sure everybody good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're okay. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm good. So I had like I've been considering getting regular work again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it because it's time away from creative.
Right.
But like I'm curious if I could get like creative work, obviously first. That would be ideal. But it's been 5 years since I've had like regular work.
Right.
I think that I was debating on it for a few reasons. Economically, obviously, I wouldn't mind it. There's like I had like a little bit of a slow patch there.
Right.
Wouldn't mind getting like some seasonal work to make sure that I don't have like an ugly time of year.
Sure.
I've thankfully I've been able to avoid having like a really scary moment economically since leaving my job.
Right.
And I take pride in that. I also don't think it's a bad thing to get regular work.
Okay.
To hold it over. Ideally though, I would love for it to be solved with creative work, but I think it's okay. Like I think the more I've spoken with comedians, the more I realize the wide-ranging ways we all figure out how to survive. And none of them are better than the other. They're just all like, I'm fascinated by it. Like, I know someone who, I believe we both know, but like a respected comic, has several TV credits. And I would say by most people's opinions is buzzing. And I know for a fact that like last month to make ends meet, they worked as a mover for like 4 days a week.
Oh yeah.
They had like a friend that like had a moving company and they were like, yeah, like, I didn't do any road gigs this month and I needed money. So, I hit him up. I said, yeah, for like the next 4 weeks, you could come rock with us. And he made good money, doing that. But it was also time away from writing. But by the same token, he didn't have to worry about money. He was like, I have to like be aware that like my goal is overall to be a creative most of the time, not to be a creative to the detriment of my life.
Right.
Yeah, I've been like wrestling with that. So I've been trying to I've been weighing out whether or not I should like go back for like a temporary thing. The challenge I have, I think more than anything is that like, I don't really do half measures well. And like, I could see myself like very quickly, like at a job being like, oh, I could get promoted. And then
Gotcha. Right.
going away from the thing I'm working towards just because I see a easy way to optimize the thing that I'm doing.
Even if you were to put a time frame, like a time limit on it.
Yeah, like, and that's I'm trying to figure that out. Like, hey, I gotta like quit this job after this much time.
Right.
Because I've never had this end of it. Like I've since I've been a creative full-time, I've only been full-time. So I've never juggled this. And I knew that was the challenge I was having when I left my job. That like the last job I had, they offered me a promotion. I took the first one because it offered me more freedom to do creative. And I left right around the time when I was going to be offered the next one because I felt like if I do this, I'm in. Like I'm doing this thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of like my reluctance.
Well, it may then depend on the kind of work you get. Can you, if possible, get the kind of work where it's enough money to help your situation, but there's no room for growth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you do that, and that way you don't have to worry like, what if I'm too good?
Right.
You don't have to look ahead and go, oh, I know how I would. Although that is your lot in life, is to see people doing things and know how to do it better.
Yeah, like I'm just
That
constantly looking for hacks, like,
Right, yeah.
or like
But if
improvement
it's just
opportunities.
like in a way that like moving works. I mean, I know a lot of people with television credits who are movers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people who got immediate buzz, able to go out on the road and then came back, and that until they catch on fully. Like, just
Yeah.
because you have buzz and you've got someone trying to get you on the road, immediately the buzz is only in one or two areas. It's not across the country. So you have to like convince places to get you, put you on. And then there's time. It's not going to be like that weekend or within a month. It may be 4 or 5 months.
Right.
So what do you do in that meantime when you know you have something longer? You take some job like that. Do like one of the task-based kind of things. Like you paint, you're painting, in houses or apartments or whatever, or moving or things like that, where you're just like, this is what this is. And I do this job until I don't have to anymore because something will pop up. But I think you have to do it. And because you have to live a life. Not even
Yeah.
just like you need to make sure you have enough funds to live a life, but you have to be around people because a large part of our job is observing life and commenting on it. So you have to, a lot of times when people go, I'm only doing creatives, then their work for a while is just about the life of being
A
an
creative.
unemployed creative, which is not what the rest of America really is. So
Right.
it's just like, I'm not sure, you're trying to make the material work, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, depending on your skill set. But like, you still also have to go through some semblance of life, which you
Yeah.
will. You will. You've got a wife, you've got kids, so you already have a life. But there are other, just outside. I bet you if you were to get some simple job like that, work it for like 6 months, 4 to 6 months,
Yeah.
you will be surprised at how quickly your creative juices will come back.
Huh.
Like, you will be moving something, you'll have to put your end of a couch down to say something in your phone about something that you've been triggered by, whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you've seen. And
Yeah.
then you can go back to moving, and then you go back to what that idea was because you're in the world again.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I think and I have a day job now. I've had a day job the entire time that I've done comedy.
Right. Right.
So it's always been me scribbling down ideas on little scraps of paper wherever I am.
Huh.
So and my day job currently it's a perfectly fine day job, and it's easy for me to get wrapped into the drama of what is there, but
Right.
I also know that there's no real room for growth for me there. And that's
Okay.
great because I don't want to grow into that place.
Right. Right.
I want to do the job and pay for my stuff, and then also do my stuff. So, I don't need to, it will not upset me, because there's no place for me to go. So it won't upset me that I haven't advanced.
Right. Right. You're there. You're
Um,
doing what you're doing.
I'm there.
You're a
Yeah,
value add.
I'm doing I'm taking care of what I need to take care of there, and I am able to do what I do outside of it. And hopefully that will work out, with scheduling and all that kind of stuff. But I made it clear to them, like, I did not move to New York at 40 to organize your office. I came to do comedy. And
Right.
organizing your office is what I'm willing to do in order to continue to do comedy. But please know, that's not
Yeah.
my reason for being here. And it's a kind of job where it's like, oh, that's a problem for you. well, let me try and find some place where that's not a problem, because clearly they exist.
Right.
There are so many office managers and movers in comedy.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Anyone who is able to just do it without any sort of day job, I mean, God bless you. It's a lot of humping. It keeps me from having to do a lot of humping.
Right.
Like really pushing myself in a way. And that is a little bit of a detriment. Like, but that's also maybe not, because if I'm exhausted, just trying to get, like, I'm not, whatever I'm coming up with isn't necessarily good. I don't think you have to suffer for good art also.
Right.
I think that hopefully that is art that's coming from you. And if you are in a healthy place, you may be able to like kind of come up with things, see things in a different light. It doesn't all have to be suffering. So if you can do what you can to mitigate that, the idea of suffering or any hardships, while also still getting to do what it is that you want to do or love to do, then so be it. And I think that's the case whether or not you want to be a creative, like officially as like your job. Like, even if this was a hardcore hobby for me, you
Right.
know, I would still want there to be a day job so that I'm not. So I just, unless you are working, doing some sort of job when it's what you love and something like that, to me, they're just day jobs or night jobs. They're just jobs to help you live the kind of life that you want to live. Or achieve other goals. I don't want to be at a day job where, if I keep calling it a day job, that's where it is. That's where it stays. If it's something else, it's like my work. You know? If that makes any sense.
No,
Anywho, go on and pick up some couches from somewhere and do that. That's an easy thing to kind of get in. You know what I mean? Just when deciding to do that, look into that kind of work where there's no real room for growth, but the pay is enough that it benefits you for and what you need at this time. And I think you will find that it actually helps you creatively in ways that you're not really expecting. But it helps you get juices flowing because you're not constantly looking at a blank page trying to write shit. You're actually out in the world moving and doing, and that's enough. That's enough to get those juices flowing.
Might have sold me on this here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, who is it? I mean, Wanda Sykes worked like for the government during her first, I don't know, 10 years of comedy?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, so yeah, that's my thing is I'm not going to leave to make the creative part my job until it is truly the job.
Right.
You know, and I've known people who have written on shows and nothing really panned out immediately. So they went back to the kind of work they were doing, but they still have one ear out for whatever else might be. You know what I mean? There are different ways of doing it, but I think you have a strong enough support system that I think you could go back to that and to just a little something.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit me up, yo, if you got moving needs. You know what I mean? Gastor's Movers Incorporated just launched.
Okay.
Today.
See, already you've made it too much. You are not supposed to be incorporating yourself unless it is for the creative shit. You can't. You gotta come in on some old, I'm just one of the team, boss. That's how you need to be.
Okay.
Don't put all of that energy and excitement into everything that you do. Some stuff only needs to get the bare minimum of you in order for you to do the other things. Day job, just enough to justify getting a paycheck and using that for other things. Don't come in on like, hey, I got this, I own it. No, don't own shit.
Okay.
Don't own shit. Just do the job.
That is the hardest thing for me, I think.
Yes, I have a feeling it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. It can be tough if your whole thing is I want to show that I'm big bad and I can do this better than everyone, but that's great. I'm sure you can, but don't. Because now you're putting too much energy into it. And then you won't, then you're like, why can't I think of anything? Well, because you've used all your brain power and how to go up this ladder.
Right.
Pick the ladder that you want to concentrate on. Anything else is tools to help you get up that particular ladder.
Okay.
If you need a pep talk on how to be lazier, I'm here.
Yeah, it's super counterintuitive to every fiber of me of like not looking to how to improve a business or how to get promoted at a business. That's just like how my life has functioned everywhere. Admittedly, it's why like that last year of work was so hard because I was getting promoted at work while doing well in comedy.
Right.
And it was a struggle because like I wasn't half-assing either one.
But perhaps try not thinking of it as half-assing. Perhaps that's the thing. Is that you need to think of it in a different way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's the thing. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably it. Just think of it as it's a tool. It's not think of it as like it's a tool. It's not the end result. Because you know what your end result is. Your end result is working on the projects that you want to, all that entrepreneurial energy that you have, which is a lot, I dare say excessive, but then again, you will probably succeed more than I will because I'm like, why y'all all doing so much? Because I'm what I am. But try to, now you have it and you apply it scattershot to everything. Now you're in a part of the life where you need to hone it and work it in a different way.
Okay.
So that's how it's the same energy, but now not everyone gets that energy. Not everything deserves that energy from you.
Okay.
So you have to be pickier about where you're putting that energy and not applying it to everything. Because you apply it to everything, then you don't have it for when you really need it.
Right. Yeah, that's real. Okay. I've done that.
Yeah.
Okay. Always appreciate the life coach.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm here for. Just swing by my closet, everybody. I'm just sitting here giving life lessons while also failing myself personally. I know exactly
on her Tumblr page.
I know exactly what it is that you guys probably need to do. And I have an idea as to what I need to do. Now, will I do it?
But she can tell you to do it.
I can tell you what you need to do for you, but I'm still trying to find somebody sitting in their closet waiting with the answers for my questions. That's what I'm waiting on.
If you know that's somebody, send us a link.
Please. You know, yeah.
Please. It'll really pivot this podcast. It'll be us two talking to her.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
Let's get into the news.
All righty.
The supposed number one perk that will bring Gen Z and millennials into the office, according to Microsoft. That's right. Some companies are sparing no expense to lure people back to the office, offering perks from private concerts to free massages. Others are taking a more authoritarian approach, mandating employees to return to the workplace or risk losing their jobs. Still, office occupancy throughout the U.S. are well below pre-pandemic levels, holding at 47% during the week of September 26. So what will convince people to ditch their sweatpants and renew their commute? The answer is surprisingly simple, Shot. Social time with coworkers.
Nope, that ain't it.
That's at least according to Microsoft's latest research, which polled 20,006 full-time employees across the globe between July and August, all people who apparently were already in the office, about what would motivate them to come into the office. Social connection trumpeted a better work setup, collaboration, and other reasons to schlep back to the office. 84% of employees said they would be motivated to go into the office if they could socialize with their coworkers, while more than 70% of employees said they would go to the office more frequently if they knew their work friends or direct team members would be there.
Y'all can't trade numbers? Y'all don't have group chats? Y'all don't have each other's phone numbers?
No. You heard of Discord? You know what I mean?
Don't. I mean, look, start your own private little conversation somewhere if y'all are still remote and working through Slack and all that kind of shit. No, don't make me. Please don't make me hang out with. Look, I say that to say this. I am an introvert. Okay, so I don't need. If there's someone that I work with that I like and want to hang out with, I will decide to do that outside of work.
Okay.
I don't. If I'm getting more energy out of being home, if it suits me to work from home, then I can still hang out with that person outside of work and work from home. I mean, that's not enough. The idea of getting to hang out with my friend at work is not enough for me to come to work. And I have worked in places where my coworkers and I have gone on trips together. You know what I mean? Like we've been out all night. We've been to concerts looking like a group of coworkers, not a group of friends, a group of coworkers. You know, there's a difference where you can look at a group of people and you're like, oh, they're friends. And you look at a group of people and you're like, okay, they work together. You know, there's a different look and we clearly look like that. That's not if you're trying to make me come back into a place that I don't feel comfortable. And you're like, but you get to hang out with your friend, this person, huh? And I'm like, I got that person in my phone.
That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to talk to them when I left this job. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll keep up with them if I want to keep up with them.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of people from other walks of my life who I keep up with. Nah, come on. Get out of here.
Out.
Yeah,
Microsoft,
that's not.
I think somebody paid you all for this.
Yeah, that's absolutely. All of these articles, that's what's actually very interesting to me, are all of these articles about the whole quiet quitting and quiet firing and all that shit. Just the little bugs that corporate America is putting in the media to just like get them talking about this so then we can, maybe change the tide so that it applies. Like the whole quiet quitting is just people not going above and beyond what they've been asked to do. They're doing their job as it's been, and they write it up as like people are doing this thing. It's called quiet quitting, and they're quietly leaving by not doing more than. Nah, they just doing their job. Like that's not. Why are you scared? This sounds like somebody who's scared. Mm-hmm. Who sounds scared at the idea of somebody not giving their all, giving their whole life to a job? Who would be scared at that? No, I don't know. Maybe the overseers. I'm gonna wipe the dust out my third eye, but yeah, perhaps. So all of these little things that they're just like, what if you got to hang out with friends? Wouldn't that get you back? No. What if you just went ahead and downsized the office and quit paying so much for real estate? What if we all realize that this is all a sham? Why?
Mm-hmm. None of this is real.
None of this is real. We're going to have to put this on merch, aren't we? Just me screaming, none of this is real.
None of this is real. Coming soon.
So, yeah, Microsoft, I don't know what you studying, but that feels insane.
You know, when I get to work with my friends, when I work from home, I have my actual friends all work from home. We can meet up at a place that we want to chill at. Yeah. That made way more sense. I thought that was the beauty of this whole situation. That like we figured that out. Like, yo, me and my boy, we could be like, oh, you working in the office digitally? Cool. You gotta do finance. I work in creative, you work in banking. Like everybody can have a different job and still be in the same like Starbucks. And we can
I guess so. Or I mean, like I texted more with coworkers when I was at home. I found out more with a coworker than I do in the office because we're not allowed to just stand and talk to each other like that.
Yeah.
And so we've started doing that in the office. We're standing and talking. People are just like, oh, what are you two like carrying on about? What are you guys telling secrets? No, we're being friendly in the office because we built a friendship outside of the office. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe we do need to just shut our mouths, sit at our desk, and then I'll hang out with her outside of the office. How about
Mhm.
that? I'll just do that. She goes on that list now. Huh. Like, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. It feels sad to me, but I know a lot of people, their friendships are from work, and maybe they didn't get to see those people. And
Right.
so they feel like they're lacking. And I get that. But also, do you know how to text? There are ways now where you can be in contact with them, and it's not just you on the phone all the time. Y'all can text. Y'all can text during the work time while you're not on in the office. You can text to each other while still working from home. Like, get out of here with that.
Straight up. This moves
Yeah,
been
because I hate like work happy hours. I hate forced merriment. I hate forced merriment, and nothing is forced more than having to hang out with coworkers. No, I get it. You talk enough during the day. I get it. Your son, your daughter, your dog, whatever. I hear it all. Why I got to hear it on my free time? Nah, get out of here. Get out of here.
We don't
Leave
believe
me
you, Microsoft.
alone.
Okay.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
In other news, many New York City public school grads aren't ready for college, according to
Ooh.
a state audit. That's right. More city students may be graduating from high school these days, but fewer are actually ready for the rigors of college, according to a state audit. Only 57% of city students were college ready, the study by the state's comp controller office found. And of those who went on to higher education, a disappointing 37% dropped out in the first semester. We
Mm.
found the Department of Education should do more to prepare students to be college ready. The DOE should be doing more to help students gain proficiency levels needed to enroll and persist in post-secondary institutions, and this preparation should begin much earlier in student school years. The report focused on the last pre-COVID-19 class in 2019 and found that only 77% of students across the 5 boroughs graduated that year. 63% of all students went to college, even though the study found that only 57 were ready based on how long it took them to graduate high school and how they did on state proficiency tests. And their lack of readiness showed as 37% of them left higher education by the end of the first semester. This number is compared to the national data published in nonprofit news outlet The Hencher Report, which found that only 26.1% of students who started college across America in the fall of 2019 dropped out by the end of the school year nationwide.
Okay.
And also, the report found racial disparity as roughly 4 out of 5 students who didn't graduate by their expected dates were Hispanic or Black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you can fill that in.
We just do that going
We
in.
knew that. We knew that already. But I is the issue here is the teaching to the test?
Yeah, that could be a big part of it for sure. Huh.
Because we're not really teaching to the kids' individual learning capabilities or right? I just feel like there are so many different ways to learn, and kids are just insanely different, and but no one is really taking the time to figure out the different ways to teach to them and their needs in a way that will help them in higher education.
Right.
It's all just about, look, we got this test and you got to get these questions right, so here's what's going to be on the test and you got to learn that part. That makes me wonder if that's why when they get to college they're just like, oh, I'm not prepared. um
Yeah,
you
that's
know
fair. Like I yeah, cuz like the things that you need to be successful in college aren't just like the things you studied in terms of like the classes. There's other skills like time management. There's just knowing how to study. I think is not discussed enough in school. Like people just
mhm.
assume you go home and read, but like there's strategy to it that like I don't think is ever covered in classes. Now that I think about it.
Mhm.
There's just so many layers to being a successful student in college that I don't think is covered. A lot of it is the shift from having somebody that's authoritative kind of telling you, hey, this is
Right.
do this, to like you kind of self-managing.
Mhm.
I think that's a huge difference. It's something I noticed in high school because like I went to a prep school and I noticed that like I talked to my friends that were in high schools that didn't necessarily view themselves as that. There were things that I knew we covered that were different.
Mhm.
And there were like expectations that were held that were far more similar to what college was than what I think a lot of my peers got. Uh yeah, it's just worrisome because like I didn't expect this from New York. Like this is a New York City. I thought like I don't know, like I just because of the amount of kids that are here,
Mhm.
and the amount of kids going through the system every year, that
Mhm.
this would get prioritized to a point to where we weren't doing this bad.
Oh, no, it doesn't surprise me because of the amount of kids here.
Yeah,
Those cracks are a lot wider for
yeah,
kids to fall in. And so I'm not necessarily surprised. So yeah, I mean, you fall in those cracks if you're only teaching to the test and you're just like, well, I mean, you did great on the test and that's really all we needed from you.
right,
It's a lot, and that teachers are stretched so thin that
yeah,
if they're doing it in a place where there aren't as many kids as in New York, they're stretched thin there. Imagine what it's like in a place in New York where there are so many kids. And it's just like and there's also like that kind of mindset of just like, well, we're New York, we got to be good at this. It's like not necessarily.
right, right. Oh,
You
clearly
know
not.
what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, it's there's that as well. And I mean, I don't I don't know. I mean, I dropped out of college after 1 year, and that was partially because I was tired of schoolwork.
Right,
Like I was tired of it in high school. And so when I dropped out of college, I was like, I'll go back when, because I'm paying money this time.
right. Yeah, it
This time
changes
I'm
the
paying
stakes.
money
Yeah,
and I'm just as tired of doing this shit. I'm pulling the same shit that I pulled in high school. I'm not going to pay money and do that. I don't see that snapping for me anytime soon. So how about I go back when I am ready to appreciate what it means to go through college and to do that work and all that shit.
right,
So there's that as well. Um, just the strain that could be put on kids of just like, well, once you get to college, you'll get it together. Um, and it's like, will you? Will
yeah.
I? I don't know, because I don't know if I fully have it together here. Um, because you like you said, there's someone telling you what to do, and there are
Yeah,
deadlines and all this stuff. And then in college, if you don't do it, they're just like, well, I mean, I don't know, it's your check. You whatever. And it's like, that you come in and you're expecting someone to sit you down and care, and it's a cold world.
word. This is
That
different.
first year is a cold world, absolutely.
You find that
Um,
out the hallway. I
yeah.
remember I knew I was it was I took a year off between high school and college.
Mhm.
I did like a audio engineering program.
Mhm.
But then I went back to school and like that 1 year, I don't know why I felt like it was significant. Um, and I remember like the moment I realized it. There was a teacher that was absent 2 times in the first 6 weeks.
Mhm.
And he put up like a note was put on the door saying, "Hey, class canceled. My bad. See y'all next week," type shit. Like it was
Right.
something to that effect. And like the second time it happened, I was in front of the class and I was like, "Oh, this some bullshit." Whereas like everyone else was like, "Yay, no class," and
Mhm.
I was like, "Nah, this some bullshit." And like I took a picture and they're like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go complain to like his department," and they're
Mhm.
like, "Yo, but we got the day off." I'm like, "Yeah, but I paid for this, like me."
Right.
Like
Yeah, like this is my
it's my
money.
money.
Yes.
Like homie just
Yeah.
taking a day off like twice. I only see him twice a week. Like he been
Right.
gone a quarter of the time. So like I don't know about you, but like at jobs, that gets you fired. You can't just
Mhm.
be out every Monday.
Right.
So I was like, yo, like this don't rock. And I remember seeing all these like 18-year-olds like, nah, be you like, we got the day off. And I'm like, nah, like this is different. And like the only
Mhm.
people with me were like, it was like a 30-year-old dude, which at the
Yeah.
time seemed ancient to me.
Right.
But like it just hit me like, oh, like y'all are still kids at this.
Mhm.
You ain't thinking like that. But yeah, I agree. Like there's just like a shift that needs to happen for you to get the full value of college. But there's
Right.
prep work that could go into that to prepare you for that shift. Um it's just a shame that it ain't getting done apparently.
Yeah,
As a
because there's
parent with kids
no
there.
there's
Yeah.
no standardized tests for prep work.
Yeah.
And maybe if there was, that would help include it in the curriculum, in high school curriculums, but there isn't. That's just something to help the kids, and it's like, are we helping the kids or are we helping the schools?
Right.
That's the thing, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. So those tests, it feels like they're to help the schools. And when you say help the schools, the help the kid part is implied, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean it's getting done. That's just, well, I mean, we're helping the schools. So, all right, great. But the kids are still somehow suffering.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, education issues in general are just like, yikes, 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 yikes.
Yo, good luck out there, sincerely. Real talk, B. My kid's gonna make it. But
Okay. Yeah, sure.
but yeah, like I realized that like there's like little shit that I do with my kids that like I realize isn't getting done. Like I did this with my siblings. Like I remember teaching them how to study shit and like
Mm.
how to read books that
Mm-hmm.
you needed to memorize. Like showing them, using highlighter and having index cards and then rewriting the shit afterward. I was like, yeah, like you don't just read and the shit don't just stick in your head just because you read the page. Like
Right.
there's stuff you have to do. Like reading is proactive.
Yes.
It's involved. It's a convo. You read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your book looks the same when you're done, you fucked up. It just there's no way you learn that information. You should be highlighting the shit you find interesting, write that aside later, and then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the chapter, write what you read about. That tells me
Yeah.
you understood the shit. And
Right.
like,
Exactly. How did you the comprehension?
yeah, you got to get
Like,
something out of it.
your the retention and the comprehension? Like, you gotta, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the book is a sales pitch. Like someone
Mm-hmm.
is trying to sell you on some shit. And did you understand the sale? Like, what were they like pitching you on? So if you didn't grasp any of that, like we missed some. Saying like I showing them how to like problem solve shit. Like, and I remember my siblings, like I started with them and I doing it with my kids. Like my siblings are now like in college, and like my sister would be like, I still hear your head, like do it again. Like she like she's like, every time I'm studying, I hear you like telling me to do this thing or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry that I traumatized you. But
How's
you
it right?
also,
But
you got your
look
masters, all
at you
right? So
now.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
shining.
So
So my bad, but it works. I'm just saying, like, we gotta incorporate that more so that that traumatic voice isn't like an older, overbearing sibling.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, now there's opportunity here. We gotta work on this. It's trash to like, holes in the game is on kids. Like, I'm okay with government fucking up, sincerely. I know y'all ain't gonna get it all right, but this ain't
Right.
part of the game that we should be slacking on.
Yeah, that's true. This
You
is
know?
a very crucial part.
Yeah, get other stuff wrong. You know what I mean? I'll deal with potholes, whatever. I still got a street sign I've been waiting to see put up 8 months now. I'm cool with all that, but you can't tell me you messing up the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Real talk, I got like a no parking sign that got knocked over 8
Oh,
months
and you're
ago.
trying to get it back up?
Yo, it was on the sidewalk so long, I just took it and put it in my yard. Like at this point, I was like, yo, it's just causing a hindrance, and you ain't putting it up. And I put
Right.
up I did the 411 help me thing. None of that. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Straight up. I'm gonna put it up myself at one point. It's gonna be
Yeah,
real
you
janky
probably
looking.
will. And then you'll put it up and it'll be up there for like a week, and then they'll come out
And they'll do
and
it
be
right,
like, "Oh,
hopefully.
we heard that there was a sign that needed replacing. We
Yeah,
got a
why is it up,
notice like a year ago."
it's up on duct tape and shit, but it's there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In other news, Snickerdoodle Oreos are about to be your new favorite holiday snack. That's right. Little can match the seasonal joy of baking holiday cookies, the smell of cinnamon, sweetness filling in the air. And if it's Christmas cookies, you're making the festive glimmer of green and red sugar crystals. Nothing quite like it.
Mhm.
But for those
Mhm.
moments in a busy life when you'd like a shortcut to holiday cookies, something to have on hand
Mhm.
when friends and neighbors drop by that blends the festive and familiar, Oreo is releasing a brand new limited edition flavor that may be just a thing. Snickerdoodle, Shy. That's right. Oreo
Okay.
Snickerdoodle sandwich cookies will be
Mhm.
available nationwide while supplies last, starting October 17th. They combine
Okay.
sugar and spice, cinnamon to be
Mhm.
precise. Haha, that's cute.
Mhm.
They feature Snickerdoodle flavored cookies,
Okay.
sandwiching cinnamon flavored cream decorated
Okay.
with
Okay.
green and red crunchy sugar crystals.
Okay. All right. Good. That's all I needed to know was what was the cookie part of it going to be. So the cookie part will be like a snickerdoodle kind of cookie with cinnamon cream.
Yeah, I'm not mad
Here's
at this.
I'll tell you this. All right. Some regulars may know that last year I did a uh taste test type of show on IG with my roommate.
Mhm.
And so we tried a lot of snacks, a lot of snacks. And our first real season, our only like full 23 episode season, um we closed out our season finale was Oreos because Oreo's been wildin' in the factory, right? There have been so many different styles and flavors and all this stuff. We tried 15, I think, different types of Oreos.
Jeez.
Um, and so now that you know I have that expertise,
I
recent
got a sugar
expertise.
headache, by the way. Just listen to 15. Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But that also spread out between like Oreo thins or a dipped one. All the different flavors and whatnot.
Okay.
I have faith in this snickerdoodle
Nice.
cookie because they had a lot and they still may have a lot of like chocolate and peanut butter kind of things or a coffee or a mocha or
Mm,
things like that. The mocha things they don't really work out well. They're kind of bitter.
mm.
But they had a carrot cake, and you're like a carrot cake Oreo, and I'm like yes, and
Huh.
you're like is that good? And I'm like surprisingly yes,
Huh.
because of the cinnamon. They really got the spices, the sweetness and the spices of carrot cake that goes into it. Like clove and also cinnamon and also just the sweetness of it. They really nailed it.
Okay.
They really nailed the carrot cake one, and so I think they'll be able to do the same with Snickerdoodle.
Yeah. I'm
It
excited.
won't Yeah, it won't be it's not as there aren't as many like spice situations with it. It's pretty simple. It's just cinnamon sugar. That's
Yeah.
all it is. But I think they can do it as long as it wasn't in the chocolate cookie.
Right.
Then yes. If it was like their golden cookie, which is just their vanilla cookie with vanilla cream, which I enjoy, then yes, I was like, okay, fine. So it looks like that's probably what they'll use the vanilla cookie,
Yeah.
but put a little bit of cinnamon and shit in that mix, and then I think it'll be good. I have faith in it. I'm gonna look for it.
There you
Um,
go.
as opposed to the other ones where I look at it and I'm like, ugh. Another one that was good that I didn't think would be good, chocolate peanut butter pie.
Huh.
I
Okay.
don't even know what that is. I don't know what a chocolate peanut butter pie is. I'm assuming it's exactly what it sounds like, but it's not anything I've ever had before. Um, but the Oreo cookie of it was actually pretty tasty.
That's so specific too, because like they could
Yeah.
have just said chocolate peanut butter. Like they had
Yeah,
to say
because
pie.
they had like a chocolate peanut butter as well. But this was chocolate peanut butter pie. And so there was like an element of it that tasted like pie crust as well.
Interesting.
Kind of like graham crackery type of thing, which doesn't always work for him, but it did in this instance. And I don't know. my opinion is I think the Snickerdoodle one is gonna be all right.
Real talk.
I have faith. I have faith in it.
Low key did not expect you to be this much of an Oreo.
I know. I'm not necessarily. I don't even. I mean, I like the lemon Oreos, which, by the way, they've stopped making.
Oh, no.
Now, if you're lucky, you might be able to find Oreo Thins in lemon, which I don't like because I'm there for the cream. If I just wanted the cookie, I'd just buy fucking cookies. So Oreo Thins are a waste of time for me. That's not what brought me here. So I can't find the lemon cream ones anymore, and that makes me sad because I love a lemon cookie. I love a lemon cookie. But so I had to go back to my golden ones, which is fine, but not what I was really wanting. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess they just ran out of lemon cream at the factory finally after years and years, because that was supposed to be seasonal too. That came out in the spring like 6 years ago, and it was just like only the spring, and then cut to now. You know, but yeah, I I'm like, I'll give that a try, maybe, that kind of thing. But I was just like, there are so many Oreos, we have to try them. It's overwhelming. And it was overwhelming. It was a lot. It took me out for a couple of days. But anywho, I think this will be okay.
Look at that. If you would like a Shalewa picked flavor of Oreos, all you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. Put it in power. Okay.
Yeah. I think it'll be all right. It'd be interesting to see what they did with a waffle.
Oh, okay. Get that.
Just throwing that out there.
Off the top, too. You saw that?
Let's just see what they did with a waffle. Woo. Let's see.
She's starting off with heat, okay?
Yeah. I know they have maple cream cookies out there. Let's see what Oreo could do with that shit.
Apple, Spotify listeners, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You don't realize how ready Shalewa is for this role. Okay?
I didn't know, actually, to be honest with you.
5 stars. You already elected her CEO of Nabisco. Good choice. Okay? Well deserved. Okay? If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. With all that said, I am head of distribution at Nabisco Cookies, Gastor Almonte.
That checks. That tracks.
With future CEO, okay? And Waffle Oreo.
I'm just a tastemaker.
Waffle Oreo creator, Shalewa Sharpe. This has been a tasty episode of The War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.